Welcome, everybody, to Heroes Asylum, issue 108. I am your host, Mike, your wordy and nerdy host, and over there I have my pal from Crime Alley. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
I know we're here. We're enjoying it. We're rocking in the triple digits. It still blows my mind when I say that.
Yeah, it actually blows my mind. I go back to the conversation that we had. I think it was 2 to 3 months before we actually went live, and we just sat there and we're just going over the ideas. And actually, hey, when are we gonna do this? And we had planned things out because I think we were gonna do it December, but pushed it back, and then February, and then here we are. Yeah. And 108 episodes later, we're still
2 years and more, and a few shows, and so it's something you can definitely add to your resume, buddy.
Yeah, that's right, and it keeps growing. Like Lobos and Chair Shots at episode 6.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was kind of hinting to. I was trying to do a segue for you. So what is it? Lobos and what?
Lobos and Chair Shots episode 6 is up and streaming, or it's up and you can listen to it. It's all those platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Spotify is the best way, I think, for me at least to listen to podcasts. I think it's easier to find. Not that iTunes is hard, but it's just personal preference. I like it.
Yeah, and I guest starred this week on it because your normal co-host couldn't make it, and we discuss what the best matches with our personal favorites are, or really what the big one is for us.
Yeah, pretty much a match that you could watch over and over again and never get tired of watching it, and why. And we had a couple good ones, and actually check that episode out, guys. If you're not a wrestling fan, you will be after watching those two knowledgeable wrestling aficionados on there just discussing the world of pro wrestling.
That's right. And then we also have Midnight Movies dropping this week. We did a one outside of a bit of a realm, but sort of not. It was sort of a sci-fi-esque movie, but we did being John Malkovich. So that's dropping on Wednesday.
Malkovich.
So you guys can definitely check that out. Subscribe. The links are below in the descriptions. If nobody knows where to get to them, they are down in the descriptions on either the video if you're watching us on video, or if you're watching or listening to it through Spotify or iTunes, whatever. You can find the links to the other shows and everything there. Well, I guess we can kind of start off with Falcon and Winter Soldier dropped this week, the second one. What'd you think?
I like where it's going. I don't clearly. I mean, I think we got the ending of the episode. I don't want to give away spoilers. We see somebody show up, but it's not really spoiler because they said he was going to show up during the D2. I think it was the D23 or one of the what was it? The Marvel. What was the thing they had last year where they all anyway, it was kind of like this convention for Disney where they showed off all what's their programming coming up, and you saw who was going to show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I like where they're going. It ties back to me to the first Cap and the second, especially with the, I guess you could say, the super soldier syndrome or syndrome. Yeah, it's out there, and
serum is what you're asking. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate that, buddy.
No problem.
But I think it ties a lot into Civil War also, because I think we had this discussion about the super soldiers that you saw in those containers, and basically Zemo saying, "Oh, they're dead," or were they dead, or just lying.
Right.
And I think that's where like I said, this is just me just spitting ideas out. I think those are the super soldiers somehow escaping, or because I just don't believe they had like that serum running around, because to me it would kind of dilute everything that happened in the first Captain America when that doctor died. He's like, oh, I can never recreate that ever again.
But they never did. They never recreated him, and they never recreated Steve. That way, but there have been versions of it. We get introduced to the Black Captain America that in Captain America movies or the comic books, he's referenced to.
Yeah.
In fact, his grandson is a hint to the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Because he picks up I can't remember the mantle. He basically finds he tricks himself into, or tricks people to letting him into the Young Avengers, saying he's got powers, when in actuality he doesn't. And there's a drug he has to take every time before he starts battling to get that super soldier, but it's only good for a certain amount of time. So it's
almost like Compound X.
Very similar, yeah.
Compound X, but it was good to see him there. I still love Bucky. I love Sam. I love their relationship. But we haven't seen Agent 13 or Agent Carter as of yet.
She's going to probably be dropping in later.
Yeah, she was mentioned though.
Yeah,
because they basically said what she's been doing. Like, hey, she basically she's been on the run since everything happened in Civil War. So we just get an idea where the story's going, and to me, I think we have our first glimpse, because I don't think Zemo's the villain of this season. I think you saw the villain of this series, and I think it's John Walker.
Yeah,
I think it's the U.S. agent. I think the way it began, because he's almost like a cool salesman. He's like, man, I don't want to do this, but I just got to take up the shield because I have to. I won't let nobody down. But towards the end, he was turning douchey. He's like, hey, if you get in my way, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, and I'm just gonna wait for that confrontation where Bucky and him, or Sam and him, are gonna actually fight this guy. So
I'm on board with you, but I think it's the other way around. I do think Zemo is the main villain. I think he's just a speed bump they have to get over and deal with to get to, because he's going to be there to try to stop them from going after Zemo. Mm-hmm. He's going to no, we got to do it the right way. We've got to do it by the government. He is basically a roadie to Iron Man, to their Iron Man. No, you have to follow the rules. You have to follow the government, and the policies are in place. But again, of course, we eventually see Rhodey make that flip, so maybe we will. And it was great to actually see what he does, his personality with that, that came out. And yes, he was the biggest and most hated person.
How fast was he hated after one episode?
Oh, dude. In one episode in 8 seconds. Literally, it was it.
We hate her. Like, he didn't really, he just showed up with a suit. Even dude, it's like they made the suit very obnoxious to me. It's not very Cap. I mean, you got to make it differentiate from Captain America. I guess, but it's just like the suit is just so douchey, and I guess that's what they're going for. And I kind of
again, it's comic book accurate. They didn't do anything. They just went to the source material and said that's what it is. Yeah, that's nothing they did or Feige did. Nobody did anything special.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, it just looks very douchey to me. I'm like, okay, so this is like their version of Cap, and you knew this was going to happen. So, like I said, I'm just interested to see where it's going. It's not WandaVision. Nothing is WandaVision, but I didn't want it to be. No, I don't want it to be. I'm just glad how these Marvel series are very different so far in tone, and I like that.
Well, every movie was. I mean, you think with the tones of each movie was a little different as well, and that's what you want when it comes to these shows. We're only 6 episodes for this one, so it's going to be a lot quicker paced. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And then, of course, I mean, the geek gods are just keep giving and giving. We got the drop for the Suicide Squad for the trailer. And we're going to watch it with you guys right now if you're up for it. And we'll kind of discuss it and talk about it and go through it. So here we go.
Roll tape.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire up. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
So we get that first introduction really to this odd team right off the bat.
I love I just love how Idris Elba fits in so perfectly. Like, literally, if you were worried how he's going to fit into this cast, you shouldn't worry at all. I mean, literally, like right then, it's almost like a capacity of the baton when he's meeting Harley Quinn. Like, hey, what's going on? Quick little reaction. And I love how they interacted in the bus. To me, I think I'm going to get the Suicide Squad that I thought I was going to get in the first film, because I thought we were going to get Dirty Dozen, but like with superheroes. If you ever seen that film, so I think we're getting definitely that.
It looks like we're getting that. Even Cena being in there, it was great to see them. So it's I know there's been a lot of complaints about a Steel or not Flag in his yellow outfit, the canary yellow. I know there's been a few talks about that. I'm like, it's okay, but I love that that's where there's very strange. It's like, I know they're talking like, no, ignore the first movie, but you really can't, because they've already got this relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not ignoring. This is just the sequel to it. And, and my understanding from the original plot line that I had heard a year and a half ago was that there is a Suicide Squad. They die within like the first 10 minutes. And then we're watching the newer Suicide Squad getting put together. So, and then them having to like finish up what I guess the first one messed up on.
Well, Task Force X has always been interchangeable anyway. So it's not, I wanted the same ones back when they came back to the sequel. I'm like, you got the main ones. You got Viola Davis back. You got Flag. You got Harley Quinn. And I think that's about it from the first one. But you got
we got Boomerang.
Boomerang's back too. Yeah. So
Yeah, you got to again. It's not like you can ignore the last one. It's they're pretty much the same. They're playing the same freaking characters. So
yeah, same.
But here we go.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence.
Michael Rourke, Pete Davidson.
Michael Rourke. What the hell? Look at that. Look at Weasel.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And the music, again, it's a staple of James Gunn. We just some great music. But again, I can't say that's James Gunn because if you think the first Suicide Squad had great music too.
Yeah.
You remember it starting off with Bohemian Rhapsody during the first trailer, which was just epic on its own. So
You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Nom nom.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
For fuck's sake.
oh yeah, so there we go. We get to see everybody. King Shark, of course, with Stallone, Polka Dot Man. We did see a quick glimpse of Nathan Fillion. Like belated birthday, by the way, to the one of the true captains. But yeah, he's good mix of the cast and seeing what everybody looks like, and Polka Dot Man works.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I was just thinking about that. I was like, did you ever think you would ever see a movie with freaking Polka Dot Man in it?
I did once we started rolling, but I didn't think it would work.
And you got actually.
There's a difference of expecting it and then actually it working. That's
I'm a big fan of Dave DeSmolcher, man. He's been around for a while. I like what he does. I want to see what he brings to, I want the thespian point of being Polka Dot Man. So,
well, you see it right there. Just that I hope we die. It's just
just do it, end it.
And
oh god, that's just brilliant.
And that one I love. That's an automatic correction for Crocodile or for Killer Croc. Even though I love Killer Croc. What they did for King Shark in this one is perfect, and I was kind of worried because I mean you can't. It's hard to stand up to the Flash as King Shark. That was very impressive.
But this is different. Like I said, it's a different world, so you just got to accept it for what it is, and I like it. I like it.
Here's the deal: we fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Hardly. Although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
There's more of this camaraderie I've noticed between him and her. Like beforehand, he was like, I don't even want to deal with her. I don't even want to look at her. I like that. I like that part of it.
You're like friends now, like whatever.
Yeah.
You got to do.
And who is that? I'm sorry. I completely drew a blank on the villain that they have there. He looks so familiar, and I am just drawing a straight up blank.
I don't know who that is, but can you? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw it out there because I think you mentioned it last night. One of our lounge sessions. What if that's Sergeant Rock? I mean, I know it's not, but
no, not this one. No, not this one. No, the guy, the Doctor Who. What's his face?
That's the Thinker.
That's the Thinker. Thank you. I couldn't
Thinker.
All right, that's what I was like. I know that, but it's not the one I've seen on television before. It's a little different.
That is the comic accurate Thinker.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I kept throwing me off. I was like,
out of his head. Like,
yeah.
What the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
That's awesome.
That's great.
And just the scene, seeing here and seeing what they're doing, I am so looking forward to John Cena helming his own.
Me too.
His own project for as the Peacekeeper. Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome.
Toilet seat on his
This is suicide. Well, that's kind of our thing.
When they get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh!
Oh my God! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Here we are in Starro.
Starro! Freaking Starro! I love
Our
James.
first live action Starro. That's great.
Not really that belated with that Power series. He was there for like a brief second, but
Live action.
Oh, well, that was live action. Remember the
What's
Power?
the Power? What's
Yeah,
that? Oh, okay.
Remember with was it Van Wayne? That was this guy.
Oh yeah. That was that's
Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk was there.
yeah, Alan Tudyk. Yeah, that was actually a pretty fun show. I like that one.
Yeah, actually, I was watching it a couple days.
Yeah,
ago.
but yeah. So now a lot of folks are like, "Oh, Starro's going to be the main villain." I don't think Starro's the main villain.
I don't think so neither. I think this is the first mission.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking when I first watched this. I was like, "Man, I bet you this is the first."
Because he's kind of, let's be honest, man. He's very silly. A villain. I mean, all he could do is read your mind and control mind. He's very powerful.
He's good as a galactic villain, and that's when you want Justice League. But of course, you're not going to have the Justice League fighting Starro again because he is sort of silly.
Yeah, he is.
But having this team fight him, I think, is great. So,
yeah, like I said, I think it's the opening mission.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Or he's maybe something else is controlling it.
We love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
There we go, August 6th on HBO or out in the theaters. So, yeah, and as Harley said, rain, it's like angels splooging all over us. I mean, the best line.
I think this movie's going to do well. Hopefully, like more of the theaters will open up when it comes out in August.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go see it. I hope he stays around because it just looks like, as he's so perfect for Guardians, dude, he's so perfect for the Suicide Squad. When I heard
that's kind of what they are. I mean, you look
basically, they're basically two sides of the same coin. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I think you were more excited than I was. You were like, oh, he's doing Suicide Squad. I'm like, oh my God, how perfect is this?
Well, he's great for. I mean, I'm sure I know he's great for other things, but his strength is ensemble cast. You saw that with Guardians. It's an ensemble cast of there's no one true lead, and that same thing goes for this. There's no true lead really. And I love Flag's Bugs Bunny shirt, by the way. I think that is going to be a big seller.
I'm gonna buy that shirt. Actually,
Yeah.
I was looking for it online. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna buy that freaking shirt.
Yeah, that's going to be out there. That's going to be a Hot Topic special, folks. You can look for that this coming Christmas.
You pre-order that right now on Hot Topic.
Right.
I'm gonna look for it actually during the show, see if they have it.
So we have that one, which I was so happy to see. And then, of course, Invincible debuted on Amazon Prime. You finally got a chance to watch all 3 episodes. Now you are the only one that has read the book as well.
Yes.
I did not. I went in fresh. Don't know what I'm going in. I know it's based off of a comic book. It's one I just never picked up. So what comparison? Like, are they hitting it on all cylinders? What's going on?
Really, like 3 episodes in, it's actually very spot on. And where I got the idea for reading this comic is our late great friend John Schnepp. Unfortunately, he basically is the father of this podcast. So which is father in spirit, he helped us out. But I got it by watching an old episode of Heroes. He was talking about Invincible, and I'm like, okay, let me see this. If you really go watch those old episodes of Heroes, not to give a plug, I mean the show's been off for a while, but literally it's so frightening how he literally predicted all these shows would happen. But anyway, I digress.
There's onto the one with you making that comment, because that was hard to say. There's a news clip later that is basically tied into something that he predicted as well.
Yes. Yeah. Like if you go back to a lot of those episodes, I think it's over 200, because I think he did up to 230 before, unfortunately, he passed. But a lot of the stuff he said, man, and a lot of the predictions literally came true, which is frightening. But anyway, back to Invincible. I read the comic, and I think so far 3 episodes in, it's very spot on. I don't want to give it away if you guys haven't watched it. Do watch it. It's a Kirkman. If you guys love Walking Dead, I think you'll like this. It's animated. It's gory, very graphic. But it ties into a lot of stuff. And the story, I didn't think they were going to do it until I got to that 2nd episode, and you told me about it happening, because I was like, okay, are they actually going to do this? And guess what? They are doing it. And that scene alone that we saw last night, I'm like, okay, So if you guys have not watched it, is it on Amazon Plus right now? Is that
Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime, yeah. So if anybody's an Amazon subscriber, you can watch it there, and it is so worth it. So and again, I'm somebody that has not.
They're not 20 minutes; they're like 30, 45 minutes. So
they're long. Yeah, because I was like, I'm sitting there, I was watching, but I was checking something on my phone. I'm like, man, did I miss a credit run? And now we're on the second episode. I'm like, oh no, we're still on the first. Holy crap! So yeah, definitely. Somebody that did not read it, I'm a big fan, and of course, Kane's has read it, and so he's a fan of it as well, and says it did good.
I love it. I hope. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a one and done series or not. Or they're going to stretch it out, but hopefully, if it gets to that point where it's going to lead to, I cannot wait to see what happens. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you.
You always have questions, and I have.
Who is Dr. Fate?
Well,
who is playing the one and only Dr. Fate?
That would be Bond. James Bond. Pierce Brosnan, dude, he's playing Dr. Fate. Yeah. Can you believe that?
Never on my radar, because again, in my mind, Fate doesn't need to be nothing against the actor inside the costume. He's got a mask on. It's just the voice. That's all I need.
But if you're gonna get Pierce Brosnan to play Dr. Fate, dude, come on. Yes. Of course. I mean, first of all, I didn't think he would do it, because I don't know what he's doing now. Maybe he's retired, just chilling with his wife and kids. But when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, like Dwayne Johnson and that $7 crew production, man, they get talent, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they did to get Pierce Brosnan off that rusty chair. It's like, hey man, you want to play Dr. Fate? Sure, why not?
Yep. So we're gonna have Hawkman, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, and Dr. Fate, and he is playing the original Kent Nelson, by the way. He's not playing the variant. Yeah. So
the OG. I mean, this is going to be our first movie version of Dr. Fate.
Well, yeah. So movie. Yeah. So our first one was Smallville,
which was so cool. I missed that. That was such a cool version. But we're getting him, and this Black Adam movie, which I think is going to be shooting or is shooting now. I can't wait to see. Now it has piqued my interest. It was before with Dwayne Johnson, but I think we've always talked about you ensemble more talent inside of the cast like this. Now I want to see it, especially with Pierce Brosnan. I want to see what he's going to bring. I want to see what they're going to bring. Who's going to be like the main enemy in this film? Is it going to be Black Adam? I mean, would you make the guy who is the self-titled character of the film the enemy of the film? I mean, I don't know where they're going. That's the thing.
See, that's the trick with Black Adam. Is Black Adam's he's an anti-hero. You talk about wrestling, about there being a heel and a face. He's not one of those. He is your quintessential villain, like Thanos. He's doing something for a reason. What he does in the beginning of his career is for his people, to make sure that they're taken care of and that they're treated right. And even in today's comic books and today's storyline, he has his country. He's very Von Doom-esque. I would equate him to the Von Doom of the DC world.
That run where you were talking about, where he has his own world, almost like Von Doom, that was a run that was written later in the 80s. Like when
later, but it's still sprinkled along. It's still going on right now.
Well, I'm saying, like when the character first came out, there was nothing depth to him like that at all. Yeah. He was basically, I'm going to fight Shazam and try to kill him. That's it. But now I'm not sure which one it was. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. May have been pre-New 52, where they actually created that backstory. I forgot the name of the land, like Kadarvia, something like that. Kador, like he's basically in charge of the world and he's protecting it. Like the backstory for him is really cool. So I believe that's where they're going with. I believe.
Well, I think we're going to get a little bit of that, but I think it's going to be coming to today as well. I think we're going to see the beginning.
I just thought of it. I didn't mean to cut you off. I pose a question to you. Do you think we see Djimon Hounsou show up in Black Adam?
Possibly. I mean, because they are connected, and they're and Dwayne does want to push it to where there is a Shazam Black Adam movie. I mean, that is hinted at heavily. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Zach at the end of the movie in a post-credit scene.
Well, I'm aiming low. I didn't want to aim that high. So
I'm talking like the post-credit scene, like where Superman was in Shazam. That kind of scene where he's there and it's just like a quick little glimpse to wet the whistle for possible future. I mean, that's the best thing.
So we'll check it out. But
I can't wait.
Eve next year. 2022. That's coming out.
Yeah, last I saw, Dwayne posted something on his Twitter page where he's actually reading. He's in the middle of reading the script, getting everything done. He's had the script in his hand for a while because that script is beat up. You see like coffee stains on it, and just like it looks pretty rough. And he's the videos of him just chilling out, drinking a tequila and learning the script. So
you wonder, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I think a couple of years ago there was a picture of him and Henry Cavill just chilling, talking about and him mentioning Black Adam and Superman. I just wonder, because this movie has been under production for a while now, not production. I'm like basically, just
pre-production,
pre-production for the last 10 years. So I'm just wondering, he's shot all these are like tweets from many, many moons ago. I'm just wondering if he shows up. I'm just curious.
That one kind of is in WB's hands, unfortunately, of what they do and what they're deciding to do with Cavill.
Well,
that's really where it falls down. If we see Cavill in there, then there's hope. The S is standing for hope again.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of hope, and we'll use that as we segue to this. Did you see what got retweeted or tweeted many more times at Avengers Endgame? Restore the Snyderverse. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to happen, but we also sat here many, many months ago saying we didn't think, and I even said, I don't think we're ever going to see the Snyder Cut. I said I would like to see it, but I don't think we're going to see it. Well, guess what? We did see it, and it's amazing. Now we're having this new thing, Restore the Snyderverse. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I'm not going to say it is going to happen, but it is out there now. And these fans and these people forced the issue to get that Snyder Cut made. Do you think there's a possibility of this occurring? Do you think maybe?
Because this happened, yes. Now I would definitely say yes. I could see that happening because now WB actually has seen it and can say, oh, okay, this is what the fans are doing and what they really want and what they're pushing for. So yeah, I can definitely kind of see that.
And what if my favorite saying I always say on this podcast all the freaking time? Where there is smoke, there is fire. There's smoke out there. There will be a fire soon. The fire's burning. There's hope. There's hope. It may happen. Here's another question for you. If they go forward with the Snyderverse, what would you like to see being done? Keep going in that same direction he was going in? Because basically, if you saw that 4-hour cut, he basically was leading into almost 4 or 5 movies, which is amazing if you think about it, because Marvel had to build up the characters, with their solo films to the Avengers. This film was just Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, then Justice League. Well, actually, Wonder Woman before that. And they were basically going to throw in these new characters in there and then bleed them out into their solo films. So now I'm fascinated to see if they do continue with this Snyderverse, where do they go? Do they keep doing that? Do they do another Justice League movie?
No, they let Batman have his turn. They let they're going to have Flash. If you let Flash run its course.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but I think they need to let the Snyderverse world grow a little bit. Really, we've already gotten. I know I saw a thing about Fisher wanting, he'd love to come back if everything calms down to come back and do Cyborg, but I think Cyborg kind of had his movie now. We've already seen his.
Me too. I think that was.
We've already seen that. I think what fans would really want. I know I would love to see you. I know I don't even have to ask you the question. The Batman movie with Ben and Jared.
Oh my God!
And actually seeing what that relationship is. We got hints, and that's really about it.
Plus, the ending of that nightmare scene, that epilogue scene, which I feel didn't need to go at the end of the movie. I should have been somewhere else. But still, that epilogue scene where you see see Mera, you see Cyborg, Flash, you see Deathstroke with Batman teaming up. I want to know how that happened. What led to all this? Joker teaming up with Batman? What?
Yeah.
Get here. That'd be another interesting to see how that happened. I mean,
that one. Yeah, that one. I don't need that far in advance. That's a what if kind of scenario. But deal with right now. Deal with what the world's right now. You don't want to cornhole or you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a situation where you have to follow now a rule and things must happen this certain way because you've already laid out the future. Yeah, somebody posted something on online, and I love this. You can
yeah.
see this, and they're talking about how they, again, goes right back to what WB and DC said during DC Fandom last year. We are allowing the multiverse to go. You've got the CW verse, the Lois and Clark, Arrow. Well, not Arrow, but you have that side of it. Then you have what they consider like the Black Label. If anybody's familiar with the comic books, there's a Black Label series in DC that does darker, more adult-oriented stuff. That's where you can throw in, the Joker, the Batman. Keep the Batman outside. Let him do his thing because it does seem a little darker.
Look, it's pointed out there the way look, it's like here, there.
Yep. And then you have Earth One. You have the current existing DC universe that's out there, and then you have your Snyderverse, which could branch off to whatever direction you want to go with. So I mean that this was I thought whoever posted this came from Adam, but I don't think this originated from him. But I think it's an amazing idea.
And basically, they like when we saw that DC fandom thing last year with Lee and Hamada and all those other guys, they alluded to this. They said,
"This is what they talked about." Yeah,
what they talked about. So I don't know what's so hard of just doing it and being, we can confuse the fans. You said there's a multiverse out there, literally in front of millions of people. You said it. Don't shy away from it.
Yeah. Well, it will confuse. It's not going to confuse the fans. It's going to confuse the casual watcher. That's where that's your casual watcher is your moneymaker, though. That's the problem. That's what's going to get confusing. I've already had discussions with one of our friends who is actually into sci-fi and likes going to the movies and then watch the comic book movies, but he was confused about Flash. Like, which one is he? And and I think that is the gun shyness that comes with WB right now. I think they're afraid that that's going to happen. And honestly, just release it. Or now they have the HBO Max to release those kind of things. So they maybe don't have to go with big budget. They can go a little bit lower budget, which in the kind of a Snyderverse world, low budget, I think, is the route to go.
No, I agree with that. But the thing about it is, remember also HBO was also had Game of Thrones on there. That wasn't a cheap show to make.
No,
so why can't you make a Justice League limited series on HBO Max? I mean, and just use that Game of Thrones money. The Game of Thrones wasn't cheap like people think it was. No. And those sets, I mean, the special effects with the dragons and all that weird stuff was not cheap.
Yeah. So now the only thing that's not in this mix here, only thing that we are not seeing, and that's what we're worried about, and that's where I'm scared, is we don't see the JJ world.
Yeah.
Because he's now it's Zach is leaving, and it's going to be now JJ's world, and that's where I'm a little scared. If hopefully, like, I would love it if like Zach's like, hey dude, here's my wish list, here's my playbook kind of thing, and
that'd be kind of cool. Like, he's leaving the office, like, hey bro, look, I got this book, just check it out, and if you don't want to do it, it's fine, but there's just things that would just give you a hand. And because as much as I like JJ, he's done a lot. Look, JJ has done a lot of good stuff. He really
great stuff.
A lot of good stuff. I don't knock the guy. Only issue is I don't think he's a good finisher. That's my thing. He starts off great, man. That's not kind of. He's just not a good. He's not a good finisher. He's just not. Starts off great. Damn, I gotta stop.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
You need to take over because.
No. He begins a project, and the way he begins it, he's got so much passion and ideas behind it, and then he's like, I don't know if he like, well, I want somebody else to kind of play in my world too, and he walks away, and then they play around with it, and then he has to come back and clean it up. It's like, no, you stick to your guns. Do the series, do the trilogy. Just don't take any other jobs right now. Concentrate on just this. Get these out. And then maybe a branch off. I know he's doing the producing. I think production-wise with Bad Robot on these. I don't know if he's directing. So hopefully maybe he'll get other directors to do the Zatanna one that we know is getting done, and that just recently got cast. They are doing the Justice League Dark. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, he reaches out to Juan and tries to pick him up in Pola and Swamp Thing. That would be what better way if JJ is going to be doing the Dark Justice League, why not? I mean, Swamp Thing's one of the biggest players in that group. Why not already bring in an existing property that's already got a origin story? I understand you might not get those actors back because they maybe moved on to something else, but
unfortunately, I don't think you will. But you have it out there. It's in the ether, and just like it's kind of like we've always talked about. Like, I don't think there's many characters you need to redo origin stories for anymore. It's kind of like, do you want to see the origin of Superman, of Batman, of Spider-Man anymore? No, I don't need to see them because guess what? That's built in the ether, in the lexicon. We know even
but we're still gonna see the pearls drop.
right? Because they know they're like, hey, how did Batman came to be? Oh, well, his parents got murdered. How did Superman came? Like, we know, man. We know.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're still gonna see it. Look on YouTube. There is a 8-minute trailer of every death of Bruce Wayne's parents. Oh. There's an 8-minute video, not a trailer, 8-minute video of all of them.
I wonder if it's the same guy who actually made the Uncle Ben one, because there's an Uncle Ben one out there also.
Well, is there?
Uncle Ben, yeah. So I'm just wondering if it's the same guy. What a morbid freak that guy is.
So what do you have next?
Well, I'm gonna stick in DC if you don't mind.
Yeah, you stick where you want.
Yeah, you tell me about it. Joel Manganiello, he was on a podcast recently. He explains his history with Ben Affleck's Batman, and basically he was talking about where that Batman solo film would have led, because you saw the 4-hour cut of the Justice League. You saw, Deathstroke show up at the end and saying, hey, man, and he's going after Batman hardcore. According to this, there's a story behind it. Apparently, he blames Batman for the death of his son. And at the ending of that Justice League movie, you saw that Luthor said, hey, well, guess what? Bruce Wayne is Batman. And that's when Slade picked up the champagne glass and goes, yeah, I guess I will stay. According to Manganiello, the whole plot line of the story would have been like Deathstroke destroying Bruce Wayne's life, like financially killing some of his friends, just making him, but basically to the point of bankruptcy, like almost like the Dark Knight Rises plot, similar, where Bane took all his money away and left Bruce Wayne, penniless. Although I don't know how he still had that house. You still have to explain that to me. And they repoed his car the same day. Again, something got to go. But I think this is fascinating how it explains how Deathstroke will systematically destroy Bruce's life. And we're not going to get that movie, unfortunately, but just to see that where they were going, they were actually going in a good direction. And I think it would have been fascinating to see, basically a guy like Deathstroke just pull apart Batman's life inch by inch. And I wonder if he would have killed Alfred in that movie too. I wonder if they were leading up to that. That would have killed Bruce. So that's what I got on that one. It's been fascinating.
Yeah, the what ifs. That's nice to know.
I like what ifs.
I know you do. You always say you don't. I don't need to know the nuances. You need to know the nuances. As much as you tell yourself and say it out loud, the one thing you always complain about. Well, I don't. Well, I need more of that. No, you don't. You said you don't.
I know.
So let's take a trip to Marvel. So, guess what's gotten a new voice for a new Iron Man for the show MODOK, that is done by Patton Oswalt, by the way. It's a 10 episode, not out yet. There are some clips that have come out, but it's a 10 episode stop animated comedy voiced by Patton Oswalt, who is also the co-creator. But they have just announced John Hamm will be playing Iron Man in it. As well as it was announced that Whoopi Goldberg will be guest starring as the villain Poundcakes. Nathan Fillion will play Avenger and underwear model Wonder Man, who will be romance the title character's wife. And Bill Hader will provide voices for both Angar and the Screamer, or Angar the Screamer and the Leader. So we definitely are getting MODOK. And again, we allude to John Schnepp. Schnepp was a massive MODOK fan, and he would be losing his ever-loving mind right now.
Freaking shit if he saw this show. I saw the clips of it. He would love this show, man. It's not the MODOK you want, like the terrifying MODOK, but it's good. I like it.
It's great, yeah.
Dude, it's Patton Oswalt. Come on. Mm-hmm. It's Patton freaking Oswalt. And then you're getting John Hamm voicing Iron Man. Come on, that's perfect. Well, John Hamm can do no wrong in my book to me. Mr. Dom Draper himself, basically that was Bruce Wayne, but just look at what it was. But I like it. I like where it's going, especially with Whoopi on there. You got a good voice cast. Yeah, you can't go wrong with talent. You just cannot go wrong with talent. And it's another one. Is that Amazon Plus also?
No, that is Hulu. Actually, that is one of the ones. Remember, there was the Marvel was going to be doing a lot of Hulu stuff. They had this plan with Hulu. This is the first one to roll. I think the first one was Hellstrom, and that one, of course, unfortunately, didn't last. And this will be the second one. And I think there was one more property that was going to be on Hulu. Yeah,
was Ghost Rider. It was supposed to be on.
Maybe, yeah, I think it was Ghost Rider. Yeah, you're right. And now this one's supposed to come out May 21st, I believe, was the release date on Hulu. So yeah, May 21st. And again, it's only 10 episodes. Probably, it doesn't say if they're mini episodes as far as 10, 15 minutes or anything. But yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Sorry, I was reading a little bit about it. It says to the end, the series co-creator Jordan Bloom teased that I think we're the only Marvel show to have have our big epic finale take place at a bar mitzvah. So honestly, guys, if you're a fan or have ever watched what Kane and I have always tried to get you guys to watch, ever watch the Harley animated series, this sounds like
It
that.
sounds a lot like it.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's in production, is the Harley Quinn series for season 3. So that's going to look very good. Can't wait for that. But yeah.
So what do you got next?
Netflix is developing an anime live action movie of the Keanu Reeves comic book. I'm going to butcher this thing. It's called Brizaka. Is that what's called? Brizaka? I have not read it yet.
I thought it was Berserker and it was just spelt weird.
No, it's BRZRKR. Yeah, BRZ. RKR Berserker? I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard anybody actually say it. I thought it was Berserker is what it was pronounced as. Just spelled weird.
Yeah, the comic book came out last October. I'm going to be honest to everybody here in the fans. I have not read it at all. I just thought the comic book cover looked kind of cool with Keanu on it, but obviously Netflix thinks it's worth to make a series. It's going to be an anime, so it's not live action. I guess Keanu's going to be doing the voice. So hey, anything with Keanu and the Keanu-sans, as we continue this Keanu-sans, I'm gonna watch. So if they're putting it out there, they must have faith in it. It must be good. So I'm gonna maybe I have to go to Acme this week and actually check it out. So,
maybe, yeah, just to see, so you can be prepared for it.
Be prepared and see what's the story, because I
just haven't heard anything great. I've heard more negative than positive, and when I do say positive, it's been like it was okay. Yeah. So that's one reason I never reached out for it.
I'm going to show you something. Speaking of comics that we talked about on the show, that I just want to show everybody that I'm a man of my word. I have not read any new comics lately. However, I decided to take the captain up on his recommendation.
Little golf clap for you.
Little. So White Knight is here, and it's the hardback edition. It's the first volume, I believe. It's 1 through 6 or 10. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the first one, and then there's the second one, which gets.
I'm taking his recommendation. I'm going to start reading this tonight.
Nice.
And we'll let you know how it is, because Mike has raved about it so long. I'm tired of him talking about it, so I'm just going to read it.
I raved about it so long. I even have picked up the McFarlane series. That's the only stuff from McFarlane that I've actually picked up.
Yeah, I saw that. You collect that little niche connection. It's funny that we talk about the McFarlane figures coming out and how people I'm basically collecting almost all of them, because that's what I like. And some of them are not picking it up, like the Wonder Woman stuff. I'm not picking it up, but it's funny. Like people at work are picking up McFarlane stuff. Like I want my boss. He's like, yeah, I picked up one of the McFarlane figures. It's this weird Batman. He looks like Doomsday. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he just looks cool on my shelf. I'm like, oh, well, all right. It's out there, man. And he announced some more cool stuff too. He announced he's going to make the White Knight Batcycle, and apparently McFarlane.
I thought my collection was done. Son of a bitch.
No, you're gonna have to get White. Yeah, you're gonna have to cycle. And apparently he's making a Batmobile, but he didn't say which one. He hasn't said which one. I have a theory. I think which one he's going to make, though.
I mean, you got to think it's McFarlane. He's got to make something. If he's going to do it, it's not going to be. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I love it because it's not in that volume of White Knight you have. It's in another volume. I think in that volume you do see a few of the Batmobiles, but I like it. But I don't think he would spend his time to do it. Is the animated version?
No, I don't.
It's just too boxy. I don't know if he would do that. So I would wonder if he would do a take on the Batman from in 1989, the Michael Keaton one, because I think that's got like something he could like get his teeth into, you know.
That's one of my choices. That one or the Bat Tank from The Dark Knight Returns.
You just got a hard on for that, man. That's just
I do. I have not. That you got to understand.
I felt so bad for you when they showed the Bat Tank in the Snyder trailer, and then when it showed up, it was just the same fucking scene. I was like, I felt so bad.
Like, it was not different. It was at the ending of the movie, and it was just right there. Like, oh, come on, you didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I felt so bad when I saw it.
It looked just like it. Had the little bat like pointing down at him. He's like capturing criminals. Like, come on.
Yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, oh,
but
man, Kane's upset now.
I was pissed because I was there for the whole monologue stuff, and I was like, oh, it's the tank. No, and then it's freaking this guy doing a voiceover. Hey, by the way, heroes got to stay together. Like, ah, sorry.
It's all right. But yeah, no, I think that would be the best one. And I think it's a little bit more iconic. I mean, yes, the 60s is iconic. Even like the God, I would love to see him do the Super Friends version of the Batmobile. I would love that one. But again, but that's pretty, yeah. Now I would either go the Tumbler or the Keaton original Batmobile.
Yeah, the 89 Batmobile or the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile, one of those two.
Speaking of Keaton, by the way, did you read that he was doing an interview and he was saying that he's not sure about doing the Flash just yet? That the guns were, everybody was jumping the guns pretty quick about that it's not a for sure thing. And he's just not sure if it would be good for him.
I understand why with the disease that shall not be named ever on this podcast again. I understand his concerns. I do. All that aside, though, come on, Michael. We have been yearning for this for 30 years. Come back, brother. You made fun of it in Birdman. You know you want to put on the cape and the cowl again. You know you want to come back. I want to see you come back. Mike wants to see you come back. We all want to see you come back. So, just put on a mask, social distance, read the script, get on the set, put on the cape and cowl again, and make us all sweaties happy. Do it. Just do it. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Vaccinate. You're right there. I think he's that age. What is he, 65? So he'll be vaccinated by the time they start shooting.
Oh, you're no wonder you're single. You're such a sweet talker. Come on, man. You can do it. You can do it. Well, how old are you?
Ouch.
Oh, I did. Sorry, man. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, he was quoting about it. Yeah, the COVID was one of the big things. And just he's not sure. He's just not sure if it's right for him either. At that age. Again, you got to realize these actors do it for a job. This isn't fan service for them a lot of times. So, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. I'd like it to not be that way.
Well, according to that article, he's like directing. He's directing a project. He's producing some stuff, and I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Michael. I mean, it's the Flash movie, so I'm sure he's not main part of that movie. So
even if he's not even on there, if he just shows up like we've joked about before when they were doing the crossovers during CW, just have him standing on the top of a building.
Oh my God.
He doesn't even need to be around anybody. They can CGI him on top of a building.
And have like the Elfman theme.
Yeah, that's all we need. I'd be happy with that. I'm sure.
You know what? I would be very happy with that too. Dig up old Michael Goh too if you want.
Yeah. So what else you got there?
You kind of stole my thunder with that one, bastard.
Sorry, we were talking, and it was too much of a segue to jump in. So
no, it's okay. It's perfect. I think that's the only. Let me make sure, guys. Keep uncertainty categories. Yeah, those are the big four that I had. So I'm just gonna have to piggyback what you got.
Well, the last couple of ones I have, we talked about this a little bit before, and you got a little cranky online, but
I did not get cranky. Sir.
New Transformers movies in the works from Marvel's Defenders showrunner. So we are looking at that. No news. It's just that they're in the works with it right now. So it's going to be let's see, he's a Marvel showrunner from Netflix has hired. It's Marco Ramirez. He will be writing the script. Charm City Kings director Angel Manuel Soto will be behind the camera. At this point, there are no plot details available regarding the new Transformers project. Paramount made a blind script commitment, so they're likely to be isn't a fully screenplay just yet. So there's still time to do that.
You want to know what to do with Transformers? It's pretty simple. Did you watch Bumblebee, guys? Anybody watch Bumblebee out there? Great flick. That's the Transformers movie that this guy and me always wanted. How about the animated series on Netflix? Doing a great job. You could borrow some things from there, put in live action. Whatever you do, just Bumblebee is a template for what the Transformers movie should be. All right, not every not every installment should be like that. But I'm just saying, just borrow that. Make the Transformers what they are. Don't make them those weird, spindly explosions. Let's see Megan fixes butt. I don't want that. I want Bumblebee, but I want with Transformers. And they alluded to a big world in that Bumblebee movie too towards the end. So I think if you just harness that, like the ending of that, and move forward, like what was the end? Like Prime had just landed on Earth, right? So the Autobots are coming to Earth. So pretty soon the Decepticons are coming. I mean, it's literally right there. If you wanted to go that route, you have the template. Just go with it. One of those things. And if story-wise, My God, look at the comic books, animated series. You have tons. There's a, to quote the 3M, there's a plethora of things out there you could read, you can go through.
Well, there is, and I'm gonna make you mad again. Sorry, it's my job tonight.
It is.
This is a younger generation that's looking at their Transformers, and guess what? Their Transformers were.
If you say Beast Wars, I'm gonna leave.
Exactly. Sorry, I have a feeling that you still have Beast Wars to play with, and you made the comment of the Netflix series, because guess where they ended the last series at? Introducing the Beast Wars.
Of course.
So, like I said, you have to think our generation is what we think of as for Transformers. But there's another generation, when they say Transformers, their idea is completely different. And guess what? What generation is coming up?
Yeah.
And they're now turning into the money ones. You know, they're actually getting into their jobs and having families, and they have that disposable income now, and they want to see their stuff. So I have a feeling, I'm not so sure. I don't know what the age group is on this. We might see something Beast Wars-esque in it. I don't want it. Again, I'm famous for playing the devil's advocate. Probably one of the reasons why my ex-wife left me, because I always play the devil's advocate.
We're getting personal today, guys.
But I just think that might be there. I don't know much about the writers, their age. And that's got a lot to do with it as well, you know. But I think them as fans of any sort of Transformers know what we disliked, and I don't think you're going to see a repeat of Bay. I think you just need to let that go. So yeah, I think that one. I don't think we're going to see a repeat, but again, it's not what Transformers are we going to get is the bigger question.
Like I said, there's a plethora of things out there you could use. Plethora. There's many ways you can go to. The thing about it is, I want them to have a vision of what Transformers is going to be. I mean, a plan, like a beginning and ending. Like, are we going to start here and are we going to end with Unicron? Like where's it going? Like, I felt the Transformers films, like the first one I liked, the Bay one. Thought it was okay. All right, good introduction. After that, we just, like, where are we going? Like, oh, we're here with the Matrix. Oh, we're here with the Constructicons. Oh, this is Unicron, but it's not Unicron. Like, then you had the, what was that weird character in the second one? The Fallen. Who the hell is the Fallen? I never heard of the Fallen. Oh, he's Megatron's dad.
Yeah. Well, they changed everything up right off the bat, from being at the Matrix of Leadership to the Spark. That instantly when they made that decision to call it something else, that threw me off instantly. And then the casting, that you didn't cast Frank Welker. I understand you went with a great voice character, great voice actor.
Nothing wrong with Hugo Weaving. Nothing wrong with
But
as Optimus Prime is an iconic voice, so is Frank Welker's Megatron.
Yeah, and he had to try out for it.
That's a crime, dude.
And what's worse is the video game that came out for that movie. Guess whose voice was as Megatron?
Frank Welker.
I was like, come on. So yeah, that's when I sort of knew off the bat that I was like, okay, you're calling it the Spark, the All Spark, instead of the Matrix of Leadership.
I remember one of the rumors. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. One of the big rumors they had before they were filming the first Transformers movie, it was like, well, who's the voice of Optimus Prime going to be? They were looking at all the people there, right? And they were like, oh, well, Tom Hanks has tried. I'm like, Tom Hanks is Optimus Prime? No, man. I go, get Peter Cullen. Call him up, man. He could still do it. He could still rock it. The guy's in his 70s. He's still rocking that voice, man.
Any Transformers series you've seen, Energon or not Energon, I'm sorry,
no.
Prime. No, it's Transformers Prime. There's a couple other ones that came out around the same time that the movies were coming out. Frank Welker was right there doing the day-to-day animated voices. I mean, he's known for that. He's
still doing it, man. I don't think Cullen voiced Prime in this Netflix series. I think it was somebody else.
No, yeah, but this guy did a good job. I'll give him. He did. He wasn't Cullen, but I was like, I understand we can't have him forever.
You can't. It's like the same thing with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. You can't. We love them as Batman and Joker, but they can't do it forever. Yeah. And eventually, you're gonna have to voice out the guys like Jason O'Mara. And who's the other guy doing the Joker? I forgot his name. Roger Craig Smith, I think, did the Joker for a couple of the Arkham games.
Well, look back. I mean, I'm kind of going back in time a little bit here, but you think back when Mel Blanc was the golden voice of pretty much anything WB did on animation.
Yes.
When he passed away, there was an empty spot that a lot of people had to jump in to fill. I think his son filled in for a few of the voices, but I think overall they were new voices, and they tried to get as close to it as they could. There was a joke. I think it was when Henson passed away. You know, even him, yeah, he was Kermit's voice, and that first guy that replaced him, I know a lot of us were like,
boy, I was
like, that's not my Kermit, that's not my Kermit's voice.
What happened to Kermit? He had a growth spurt, like,
Yeah,
not Kermit. It's just like with voice acting, I think you have to do this, and this transcends for everything. Well, especially voice acting, is when people reach a certain age, you got to transition them out. Like, to me, one of the biggest things is James Earl Jones in Rogue One as Darth Vader. I love him. He will always be Vader, always. And I think they have a new guy doing him now, and he's not bad. But if you watch that movie, James Earl Jones's voice would start to crack a little bit as Vader. All right, you could tell he didn't have that same power. It was more like this. I mean, he wasn't in there a lot, but you could tell, hey, you know what? We might have to start looking for another voice for Vader, you know. And you got to do that with voice actors, because the vocal cords, the older you get, they get a little more strained. Because think how long they've been talking on this. All right.
Oh, I know.
A long time. You're doing something, a little side project of yours. Think how long you're talking doing this and doing your side stuff.
Well, not only that, but you guys realize
with your day job, right?
My day job is me talking all day long. I talk for 8 hours a day. So, trust me, I know how you have to treat your voice, take care of it. So the guys that are doing this that long, they know how to take care of their voice, and just the age, and you lose a little bit in the breath, you lose a little bit in the strength in your voice, because this is a muscle, just like everything else. So, and just muscles will sort of fade. You'll still sound close, but you won't get that boom, especially like you were talking about Vader. You're not going to get that boom.
And we didn't get that boom in Rogue One. Unfortunately, like I said, we got what we got. It was good, but it wasn't that impactful Vader. I think the Vader voice I heard when he was in Rebels, so I think he voiced Vader in Rebels. It was good, because I think they digitized some stuff, made him sound a little bit different, and it was animated. But in Rogue One, that was Vader, but it wasn't Vader. It didn't have that strength that you normally have in voice acting. But so we'll see where we're gonna go from there.
We'll definitely say that. So I have a question. I gave this to you last night. Did you do some research? Did you think? We've been talking about Snyder Cut. Justice League Snyder Cut came out, and of course you had the original with Whedon, the Whedon cut, and then we have the Snyder Cut. My question I gave to Kane last night was, what do you miss, or what do you wish could have come over from that got cut from the Whedon cut that could go into the Snyder Cut that you missed, or that you think it might have like been a little bit of a cherry on top for you?
The beginning scene that you pointed out with Batman on the rooftop with the parademons, I like that. That's probably the best one.
Yeah, that was mine. I like that scene, because that explained Batman in a way that needed to be explained, and what he's doing, and it looked like Batman. Yeah,
and there's one scene that they cut out, and I kind of wish they kept it, because I kind of wish he stayed alive. It's a scene at the end of the movie of the Whedon cut, where basically Cyborg's with his dad, and Cyborg turns his uniform into the Cyborg uniform, or the armor of the comic. He basically looks like the Cyborg of comics. I wish they would have kept that around too. I don't know, because it would have felt like justification, like, hey, you know what, I didn't get along with my dad for the longest time, but now it's ending, and now we're at peace with each other, and now we can go forward. Because I thought that's what's going to happen. He's going to be a Charter Star Labs. He's going to keep going back and forth. His dad is still going to be around. Those are the two scenes I would have kept.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of like the one I completely forgot about the other one. I know it's hard to ask that question, because like we've just been enveloped, and I know you've watched. Last I heard 3 times. I'm at 2. You're at 3 or 4. 4. Okay, so I've done 2 watches. You've done 4. So yeah, there are moments where, like, when I'm watching, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go back and watch the original and see the difference and hear the difference, because I know the music is placed differently, and it's more bigger in scope and things like that. The only thing I wish they would have taken out of the Snyder Cut, or they could have limited, were the mournful moments with Lois. Give me one. We understand she's missing Clark. All right. I don't need 5 of them with these long scopes and these sad songs.
Yeah, because it makes the Lois character weak, and the Lois character is not a weak character. If you guys have been watching Superman and Lois, that's the Lois Lane we've always wanted. That's the strong Lois Lane.
Well, I get she's in mourning. I get that. Yeah, but let's just see it one time.
She would never quit reporting. Like, hey, I'm mourning. I miss Clark and all that stuff. But you know what? I got to still put the badge back on. I'm going to go out there. I'm still new. So I would agree with that. Less whiny or mopey Lois.
Yeah. That would have made me a lot happier. And the slow panning scenes, I was like, okay, we got it. So, all right, guys. Well, that is the end of Heroes Asylum. We want to thank you guys for listening to the whole show. Make sure you guys do check out Midnight Movies this week. If you need the descriptions, they are down at the bottom. We also have Kane's Low Blows and Chair Shots with our friend Hot Shot. Hopefully we might see Hot Shot back this week. I don't know. He's going through some things right now. So if not, I may make a return. I had fun this week because I was on the show. But make sure you guys do check that out, and also check us out on our Facebook page. If you're not watching us or listening to us there, you can go to our Facebook page and join the community. It's always fun. The community constantly is growing, and very interactive group of folks. They are a lot of fun.
They're inmates, man. What do you expect? Yeah. Of course, it's gonna go rowdy in there. Sometimes I have to be, hey. Actually, I've seen you a couple times. Like, oh, guys.
I've had to pull some comments before, but it's like I'll message them off the side. Hey, I pulled you because of this. Oh, sorry.
Guys, check out Heroes Asylum Podcast _ Heroes Asylum Podcast on Twitter, Instagram at the Heroes Asylum. Check out Low Blows and Chair Shots episode 6. And as always, from Mike to me to you, get to the asylum.
See ya.
Peace.